Now, however, we are, we've got a nice controversial title. I always like this. The big lie of user acquisition, strategies that do not work in 2021. Boom, I love it. Get in there. So yeah, this is a nice confrontational tone. I'm sure Hanna of SplitMetrics will be very charming and not too confrontational though. But yes, you're going to give us a bit of insight into what's not working and maybe working in UA, and it's obviously a very changing spirit at the moment with the recent sort of privacy and advertising updates.
Yeah, definitely. Hi, Chris, and thank you very much for having me here. I've heard part of Callum's talk was very insightful, and thank you very much, Callum, for.
Whereabouts are you, Hanna? Where are you based at the moment? Obviously, you're in your
I'm located in Belarus, in Minsk.
Oh, nice. Belarus, very lovely, very lovely.
Yeah, the weather is just crazily hot here. We're not used to it, and it's just so hard.
It's hot everywhere, but I've got a very similar divider in my house there, so I was just admiring how you'd used it. I'm gonna go and rearrange some things. Anyway, enough about home decor and more about UA. I'm going to leave you to launch in, and I'm here in the background. You'll get your full time. Don't worry, we're a little bit behind, but that's okay.
Sure. Let's start. Let me share my screen first. Again, hi everyone. My name is Hanna. I work at SplitMetrics, and we are a mobile marketing company providing solutions and services for the App Store optimization and Apple Search Ads management and automation. I personally lead the account executives team that do Apple Search Ads consultancy and help clients get the most out of this channel, Apple Search Ads. So today, I'd like to talk about the mobile marketing strategies that do not really work. I wouldn't say do not work, but are not really enough in 2021. Let's start. Basically, during this conversation, during this talk, I would like to cover the ASO and A/B testing part, and also then switch to the paid acquisition, especially to Apple Search Ads. Let's start. Okay, how do I switch it? Okay. I guess everyone would agree that the coronavirus pandemic has changed the way mobile users interact with apps and games. And another important change in 2021 is the app tracking transparency framework that was introduced by Apple. It granted users the right to choose whether to share their personal data or not. And it is definitely making a significant impact on the mobile app industry. And of course, affects the marketing strategy in mobile. So what mistakes can you avoid to stay on the fast track to growth and revenue generation? Let's check them out. If you're thinking that your game is engaging in itself and brand is not important, I'm afraid you can be wrong here. So why is a strong brand so important for user acquisition and App Store optimization? First of all, the tendency of the last 2 years is that users come to app stores with a purpose in mind. They search for a specific game or app and tend to use generic search terms less. This was a trend last year, and 2021 is not an exception here. Secondly, after the IDFA deprecation and after the introduction of the ATT framework, attribution became quite confusing. It makes all the more sense now to concentrate on your brand. I'll talk upon this later in more detail, but when you have a strong brand, when you have a recognizable brand, it gives really impressive results when you run search tab ads on Apple Search Ads. And thirdly, and I guess everyone would agree here, brand awareness influences the conversion in the positive way. The point is, the higher the conversion, the more often your game or app will be shown to users in the App Store. So it's all one big cycle, like you see on this slide. New users install the game or the app, then App Store rates the game higher, then more users see the app in search, browse, or check top charts. And then as a result, you get even more users downloading your app. So this is about the brand awareness and the importance of investing into your brand. Next strategy is that it's not enough this year, is skipping the A/B testing for later. Again, not the best idea. Why? First, and I'm sure everyone have heard of this, is Apple just introduced a few changes to the App Store. And the first one is the A/B testing as an inbuilt tool to Apple search ads, to Apple. Now you'll be able to test icons, screenshots, videos, and compare their performance within the App Store. This is definitely a huge opportunity that will positively affect the mobile marketing. And it's important to include these A/B testing activities into your marketing plans, that's for sure. However, this is just a tip of the iceberg. Here, I'd like to talk more about how a wider range of A/B testing opportunities can make much more difference. And first of all is testing on pre-launch. It is about testing your game or mobile app idea or certain functionality and features before even developing it. You can show your mobile app's prototype to your target audience and decide whether you should build it. What is more, you may compare a few concepts, select the best performing one, and then put it into practice. For the existing game, you can identify the features that should be delivered in the first place. On the App Store with the upcoming A/B testing functionality, you won't be able to do that. I mean, if we're talking about the pre-launch testing. However, you can do the pre-launch tests with SplitMetrics. You can identify the best performing features, settings, characters. The logic here is very simple. Just focus on features that are most attractive to your customers and then deliver them first. Next thing about pre-launch, here are just some more ideas on what can be tested on the pre-launch stage after you've identified your target audience. What core mechanics work best? It can be words, puzzles, match 3, or something completely new. Then you can explore what plot, characters resonate with your target audience, what awards will motivate them to continue playing. And thirdly, you can test the graphics. So will the game be black and white, or maybe cartoon style, or maybe users would want to see the realistic 3D graphic. All of this can be tested on the pre-launch stage before your app even goes live. Next thing about A/B testing is that it is very helpful in the context of go-to-market strategy. We're talking about positioning, targeting, and rebranding if necessary. A/B tests will help you collect data to compare performance of variations with screenshots containing different messages. This way you'll be able to understand whether your positioning strategy resonates with your audience. For example, some users need games to relax, some to pass time and entertain themselves. Some of the users are eager to enter into a competition. So this requires completely different marketing strategies and approaches in each case. And again, A/B testing will be as a solution here. We at SplitMetrics do not stop repeating that creatives is a king, and any idea, even the best one, can be improved. From time to time, we publish ASO reports at SplitMetrics, and each time they prove that visuals have the highest impact on the conversion. Changing the icons, screenshots, or video can bring a huge boost to your app performance. Here's, for example, one of our clients. They added a character as the main element and changed the background. And as a result, the new art raised the interest of users by over 30%. This is huge. And we have many cases like that when we see very positive dynamic after the creatives were changed. So our advice is always run A/B tests. Each time you're experimenting with visuals, when you add seasonal modifications to creatives, when you adapt them to a new market, or simply want to improve discoverability and conversion, the A/B tests will really help you here and improve your marketing results. Okay, so this is about organic, about A/B testing. Now let's switch from organic to paid acquisition and Apple Search Ads in particular. As, I work with Apple Search Ads mainly, so I can share more tips with you here. One of the pitfalls we often come across here is the idea that paid user acquisition doesn't affect the organic results. Actually, it does. So let me explain more how this combination of the App Store optimization and paid user acquisition work. It's quite a complicated scheme here on the screen. So paid user acquisition will bring even more target traffic to your app page that will be interested in your game. Both App Store optimization and paid user acquisition have a strong effect on app visibility. They improve search performance and app ranking in the category. Algorithms react positively when the number of your app installs increases. And then scaling paid user acquisition will expose more users, which will bring more organic traffic as a result. So all of this is connected. But on the other hand, App Store optimization has a strong impact on the performance of your paid user acquisition campaigns. For instance, if you run Apple Search Ads, such metrics as tap-through rate and conversions can be improved considerably with the help of the ASO tools, including A/B testing. In our team, we often analyze clients' accounts on Apple Search Ads, and we see that when everything is almost ideal, there is a space for improvement in terms of tap-through rate and conversions. And once we work on this, on improving this metric, we invite our ASO team to do that. The overall performance in Apple Search Ads is growing. The KPIs are improving. So this is really important to also pay attention to these metrics and combine your ASO and paid UA activities. Let's go next. Yeah, so I've already started to talk about Apple Search Ads. So among different UA channels, I'd like to focus on this right now. First of all, Apple has introduced the IDFA deprecation, and this is a huge change in the mobile marketing landscape. There was a lot of discussion last year and this year on that, and this really changed the market. According to AppsFlyer, we're talking about 58% of users that opted out of tracking in all categories. For gaming, it's even more, it's 66%, and it's really a lot. However, my comment here, as a result, nothing basically has changed for Apple Search Ads. UA managers are still able to optimize their campaigns to ROAS and in-app events with the help of such tools as Search Ads HQ by SplitMetrics, and they are still able to reach their target audiences. Unlike other ad channels that have to use SKAd network now, Apple Search Ads uses its own framework called ad services for privacy-safe install attribution and measurement. So long story short, Apple Search Ads as the user acquisition channel is already a must-have in your UA portfolio. So my advice is do not ignore it in 2021. It will really give you huge opportunities for growth. And we see that after the iOS 14.5 release, the number of clients who are starting their Apple Search Ads campaigns, who are investing more into Apple Search Ads is growing. Okay, let's see what I have else. Yeah, one more important thing that Apple Search Ads can help with is when we talk about having a strong brand. I mentioned how important it is for your app to pop up in search results first, and not the app of your competitors. However, if you do not run Apple Search Ads with your brand keyword, that then your competitors will likely do so. And they will get some part of your traffic. So an app in search results takes almost half of the screen, and users, unless they're highly motivated, will likely tap on the first app they see. Also, if we talk about organic and paid UA connection, Apple Search Ads is also a great source of insights if you want to collect and optimize semantic core. You can see the conversion for each keyword in your ad campaigns and choose the best performing keywords to add to your metadata. Long story short, if you would like to get this advanced management features, bulk management, automation, just check Search Ads HQ by SplitMetrics. We provide all of this data and the possibility of making optimization of your campaigns towards ROAS and target metrics. Yeah, so here are some real-world results of our customers that run Apple Search Ads. A game publisher in a games managed to increase their profit by 22% compared to the year before. They used Search Ads HQ for the automation, for custom reporting, for advanced filters. And this allowed them to reallocate their budget from the keywords that just wasted all of their money for Apple Search Ads to something that was profitable. In this case, they got an increase in profit. Good. Yeah, next misconception is, okay, I'd better stick to the same UA strategy I used to have in 2020. Is it okay? Should I leave it as it is, or probably I need to try something else? The answer is, yeah, you'll never know until you try. The mobile marketing is very dynamic. The new UA opportunities appear every few months, and you definitely have to test them out to be on top. And speaking about Apple Search Ads, there are some good news from this channel. In 2021, Apple Search Ads already opened up 2 new opportunities for growth. The first one is new storefront, China, which is absolutely huge. And the next one is new placement, search tab ads. So let me dive deeper into that. Yeah, so Apple Search Ads is now available in mainland China for booking campaigns in a week. So next week, ads will start to serve on the App Store. Earlier, we have helped some China-based companies scale for global markets and got really impressive results in just 3 months. So we hope that it will also work the other way around, because China is one of the top revenue generators on the iOS, according to the reports. And last year, it counted for almost half global mobile app spend. So this is a really, really impressive opportunity for mobile apps and games. So you can reach the untapped audience on the App Store before most of your competitors do. And at Search Ads HQ, we've started to support this storefront right from the day one to catch all of the possible opportunities for growth. Next thing is new placement that was recently introduced is search tab ads. It's been available for a couple of months now, and it also was very actively discussed once it was launched. At Search Ads HQ, we've investigated the performance of this placement and found that, in fact, it's a really viable tool. You just need to know how to apply it. The first best practice to apply this search tab ads is to drive brand awareness. If you are willing to invest in brand building, App Store search tab campaigns are worth the cost. On the other hand, we observe really outstanding performance for the strong brands running this type of campaign. Really, they are completely within their KPIs, and there is still some space to increase their costs because the KPIs are really good. Next thing, it will give you a good opportunity if you are using a search tab for retargeting of your users. If you want to re-engage with these customers, it will also be very helpful because it catches their attention before these users become inactive. We've already have shared early statistics on search tab ads in our blog, so you can find data per category and per storefront. Just go to our website, SplitMetrics.com, and there will be the data. Yeah, here are just a few examples of these benchmarks. Yeah, and so also speaking about search tab ads, recently we've seen a great improvement in its performance. For some geos, customer acquisition cost has decreased by over 30 times the initial number. Plus, some clients see an increase in brand impressions in paid campaigns after they run search tab ads. Just a fresh case from one of our clients, as they have a strong brand in Europe, the search tab ads have just shown impressive results for them. And not only for returning users, but also for new users. All the performance data is within their KPIs and even better. We'll be sharing more data soon in our Apple Search Ads benchmarks report, so stay tuned. Yeah, so it looks like that's all. If you want to know more about our solutions, benchmarks, any tips how to work with Apple Search Ads, just feel free to reach out. Happy to answer your questions. Thank you.
Wow, that was great. That was really, really good there. We'll leave those up on screen just for a minute so people can grab them. I've got a few questions from the audience. We started a bit late, so we can probably get through 2 or 3. Look at that's nice. That was really cool, Hanna. Thank you so much for that. It was kind of a mixture of some sort of good broad ideas and some real detail. So I really appreciate that. So I'm going to try and pull a few of these questions out. So it's a very specific one, which is related to what you're just talking about. How can advertisers improve volume in Apple Search Ads campaigns? Isn't it always low volume? That's from someone in.
Well, that's a good question. On Apple Search Ads, usually, as far as I understand, this is related to the search my drum campaigns when Apple Search Ads recommends the search term suggestions. How you can do that is to first check the data for a longer period of time, if we talk about the low volume search terms. And then, so this is the main tip, and it's hard to identify what's behind this low volume terms, but still, if you can take a longer period, you'll probably get the data on the search terms behind these low volume terms. Hopefully this will help.
That's good. That's good. I've got a couple of questions here about pre-launch testing I'm going to kind of put together. One is, do you worry that pre-launch testing could reduce the amount of innovation and new concepts for games, as it doesn't always allow for new games to be easy? I mean, this is a general question from a lot of game designers about kind of, I guess, data-led game design rather than things. Another question is, does pre-launch testing affect the overall cost of game production, and could that turn off investors?
I would say, because we have a big amount of clients at SplitMetrics who are testing their games on pre-launch, it is actually mainly reduces the cost of your game production, because first you identify the best working idea. It depends on what you're testing. Probably you're testing the category, subcategory, or you're testing the message to users of features. And we see that those publishers can go live, can go to the market with already tested and good solutions. So they do not make mistakes in terms of their positioning, in terms of the functionality to release first. Because right from the beginning, those games are already interesting to their users, and they are more motivated to download them, more active, and they drive more target audience to your game. So this is how it actually works. So overall, the cost doesn't increase. of course, pre-launch testing is not free. You need to drive users there, but you make an early investment and it will pay off later.
Okay, I've got a couple of questions about sort of related. One is, what is the industry average or recommended budget for A/B testing and App Store search ads? I guess that's quite a flexible answer. It depends on the scale of game, I guess. But yeah, what is there like a minimum average budget? There's also a question about relatedly, potentially, that you SplitMetrics obviously provide the service. What sort of budget's needed to use a third-party company for this? So those are kind of related, I guess. Like, is there kind of a minimum level or a recommended level for putting into to give this a trial?
I would say the biggest investment here from the very beginning is to drive the audience to the test. It's not the tool itself, but the audience, because you need to drive the paid traffic to the test. I wouldn't say about the prices because this is not my team working with that, but if you reach out to me or to anyone at SplitMetrics, it is better to do it by me. I'm sure the team will give you the correct numbers, but just keep in mind that the biggest part of investment is the audience, driving audience to your tests.
There's a kind of question about that as well here, which is, pardon me, what sort of scale of audience do you kind of advise for pre-launch or even later on A/B test? Like how big of an audience do you need for that test for it to be useful? You know, how many?
Yeah, that's a very good question. So this depends, depending on how many variations you are going to have for your A/B tests, because there can be 2 variations or 3 or 4 variations, but we recommend to get at least 1,000 users per one variation. Okay. So based on that, you can calculate the average pricing. 2
variations, 2,000 at least, but fair enough. Okay, that's good. I'm going to try and squeeze into 2 more quick questions. I'm going to have to let you go back into the ether. So Chris, Matt, I think you talked earlier about brands, advertising your brand and promoting your brand in Apple search ads, and obviously it's not quite the same thing. But earlier we had Adimo talking about in-game advertising and brand advertising that way. So I was going to ask, what's your thoughts on in-game advertising or new advertising formats that people should consider? Because obviously, you know, with the changes recently, it's certainly opened up challenges and an opportunity for people to try different kinds of advertising promotion. Are you seeing anything else that people should look at?
On my side, I can talk only about Apple search ads because I'm quite proficient in this direction. But speaking about this channel, it's definitely it's necessary to invest into your brand keywords when you run this channel. It's just obligatory because otherwise your competitors will do so, and your game or app will appear your competitors' game or app will appear on your search terms, which is not needed absolutely. So first of all, invest into your brand keywords. This is just must to have on Apple search ads. Yeah, and one more thing that I mentioned, speaking about search tab ads, this is actually the main purpose of this also is to promote your brand. When you run ads on this placement on Apple search ads, again, your brand will become more and more recognizable. So this is another thing you can do.
Okay, so one final question, and I will let you go. Obviously, this is, I presume, from a small developer. Not every team can do all the things you've outlined. What are the most important, would you say? You know, is there a hierarchy of where people should focus first? And because you've recommended quite a lot of ideas and suggestions there, is there focus your attention?
Yeah, that's just a great question, and it's related to the whole marketing strategy when you come to the App Store. But at SplitMetrics, we also have the agency team, and they do promoting apps from the very beginning. And what I see how they do that, they first start with the ASO part, because this is really important to improve your app page, to make sure all of your creatives are working well. You have a good conversion from the app page. You have a highly converting icons, all of this product page part. And then switch to the paid acquisition, because if your product page doesn't work well, if you have very bad screenshots on the product page that do not convert at all, your investment into the paid acquisition will be just a waste of money. So first start optimizing your ASO part and then switch to the paid acquisition. That would be the plan.
Fantastic, Hanna. You have been been a pleasure to talk to. Very, very efficient as well, which is good. So I'm going to let you go back and enjoy your day and your sweltering heat in Belarus. Yeah, hopefully you'll have people can reach out and ask you further questions through the meeting system or Discord or whatever. And yeah, and improve that area. So, but thank you so much for your time this morning. Really appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. Thank you very much, Chris. Thanks for having me here, and feel free to reach out via Meet to Match. I'm happy to answer any questions you have.
Fantastic. All right.